Welcome to the Getsum podcast, where we are in episode 3, where we are going over week 14's preview. This one, we're going to get right into it right now. This is a big week. Lots of teams need this game. Lots of teams need a loss. It's a bit of a weird week. All right, we got David versus Mo. Yeah, Mo wants to win. Mo wins, he's in and gets the 1 seed. David loses, and he's likely picking second. Possibly first. Guess we'll see. We'll see here. Yeah, we got Jalen Hurts going for David. We got David Montgomery going. We got Bajal Tootin. We got Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, Khalil Shakir, Harold Fannin, Jake Bates, and Philadelphia's defense. That's been a pretty normal starting lineup David's been rocking pretty much the last couple of weeks, ever since he took Bill out of the lineup. And then Bishop Sycamore, they're running with the guys they've been running with as of late. Caleb Williams, Bijan Robinson, trade deadline acquisition, Breece Hall, JSN, trade deadline acquisition, Chris Olave, trade acquisition, and Dalton Schultz. You got Jalen Warren, Chris Godwin, Will Lutz, and Cleveland's defense. Yeah, they're back to going with Lutz. They had Borregales as their starter, but it looks like they're back with... Oh, Borregales is on bye. All right, just take out what I just said. Yeah, I'm going to keep that in there just so y'all know that I, didn't know that it was the Patriots' bye. I should know that. I'm an idiot. All right. On to the next matchup, though. Yeah, David's probably not going to win that one. Mo is the betting favorite by a lot. All right. We'll go up to the top. We'll go to the Tuggers versus Tank for Love. Yeah, this is a game where both teams want to lose, but each team's got their starting lineup in. For the Tuggers, you got Justin Herbert, who's projected to play. Not sure yet, though. You got Jahmyr Gibbs. You got Josh Jacobs, Zay Flowers, Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Kelce, Jordan Addison, Kenneth Gainwell, Cameron Dicker in the Bengals defense. And for Tank for Love, you got Josh Allen, you got Dylan Sampson, who's got a questionable tag as of now, you got Jordan Mason, you got Darnell Mooney, Cooper Kupp, Kyle Pitts, Aaron Jones, Deebo Samuel, Jason Myers, and the Buffalo Bills defense. As far as the benches, yeah, it's a much better bench for the Tuggers, as there's not much really available to Tank for Love. Yeah, that's on purpose, obviously. We know that. But, yeah, it's looking likely that Tank for Love will take that loss and be picking number 1 and will be on the clock after Monday Night Football. As far as this matchup, we got a matchup of a team that wants to win and a team that wants to lose. Yeah, bit of a weird one. With Turd Ferguson, you got Bo Nix, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Nico Collins, A.J. Brown, Jake Ferguson, R.J. Harvey, Zach Ertz, Kymie Fairbairn, in Denver's defense. And then for Tank for Lemon or Boston, yeah, dude's changed his name a million fucking times because he isn't getting what he wants. And we got at QB, Sam Darnold. At RB, we got Tajay Spears. At running back, we got Woody Marks. At wide receiver, we got Ladd McConkey. At wide receiver, we got John Mechie. At tight end, nobody currently. We'll look down there later. And the flexes, we got Alec Pierce and Devin Neal. In the kicker spot, we got Cam Little. And at defense, we got Chicago Bears. And then as far as a tight end, does he even have one? He does not. He's going to be forced to pick up a tight end. We'll tell him that later if he's watching right now. He'll know that. Yeah, you can't just not start a fucking position. You got to pick up a guy. Just drop Jatavian Sanders. Nobody wants him. I mean, literally nobody will take Jatavian Sanders. Nobody would take Brashard Smith probably either, but that's besides the point. Just drop Jatavian. All right, as far as the next lineup, we got Team IR versus Team Andy. Team IR, they could put themselves in a really good draft position with a loss here, and Team Andy, well, he can put himself in a very good position with a win. Yeah, if he wins, he's in. That's all he needs. As far as Team Andy, his lineup is interesting. Joe Burrow, Malik Davis. Has he really played? He did have a good week 3. That's his option? Tough. Devon A-Chain, Christian Watson, Emeka Egbuka, Mason Taylor, Romeo Dubs, Michael Pittman, Matt Prater, and Tampa Bay's defense. Yeah, there were many people trying to trade to Andy to get him to get an RB, and he refused, and he's paying the price here. There's probably better guys in free agency than this Malik Davis guy, but we'll see tonight. We'll see what he does. He's playing tonight. We'll see if he does anything. If he does nothing, well, that's a tough spot in Andy's lineup, and Andy might be in a situation where he misses the playoffs. Although it still looks likely that he'll make the playoffs if Roman wins, or if Roman loses. But if Ryan loses, it's looking real tough for Andy. Andy might fall out of the playoffs, even though he looked like a guarantee about a couple months ago. All right, as far as Team IR, they got Lamar, Emmanuel Wilson. Yeah, I mean, you got most of these guys. I mean, most of them are good players. They're just not doing well as of now. You got Rome Odunze, who's not been great. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's had a tough start since coming back. Trey Tucker's had a couple good weeks. Dallas Goedert's actually been pretty consistently good. Jacoby Myers, whatever. Chris Boswell is normally good. He just didn't get an opportunity last week, aside from that one extra point. And Indianapolis' defense. Yeah, there's one thing missing from his lineup, and that is Omarion Hampton. Yeah, he's going to be forced to put Omarion Hampton in his lineup. You're not sitting Omarion Hampton. Dude's a star. You're not sitting a fucking Emmanuel Wilson. What the hell? All right, and then next game, we got the Kentucky Fried Pickles and Team Phil. Yeah, this is a battle of two teams, and this is just going to decide who gets seeding over each other, because neither of them are likely to get the bye. It's a weird situation. These teams could match up again in the playoffs, which is kind of funny. They could play back-to-back weeks. We'll see. Kentucky Fried Pickles, they're going with Jacoby Brissett, Kentucky, Saquon Barkley, Puka Nacua, George Pickens, Colby Parkinson, a little bit of an interesting tight end pick, DK Metcalf, Malik Washington, Kyra Santos, and Minnesota's defense. And then for Team Phil, you got Stafford, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, Jaden Higgins, Brock Bowers, Troy Franklin, Michael Wilson, Chase McLaughlin, and defense will be the Rams. He's sitting Chris Rodriguez. I would probably start Chris Rodriguez in all honesty. Sitting Harrison isn't too crazy because Harrison he can't get healthy. He's playing in these games, but even in this game, he got injured in the middle of it. It's hard to trust a guy who can't stay healthy. I mean, he's played fine when he's played, but it's just hard to trust it. I totally understand sitting him, but I'd probably play Chris Rodriguez. I know he hasn't had some crazy games yet, but he's starting to get more carries and more stuff. It's looking like he's going to be the lead back, as Industry Bill is not very good, as we knew. And as far as the next game, yeah, it's a big one. Winning, you're in. Steel Curtain and Quinn and Out. New name there for Roman. He's went with Quinn and Out now. Solid. Better than Sun God Gang. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. But we'll go through the lineups instead of just talking about his fucking name the whole time. All right, Steel Curtain. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. Pretty good. He's a solid guy. Have you ever heard of him? I've never heard of him. Travis Etienne. DeAndre Swift. Rashee Rice. Davante Adams. Trey McBride. Tyler Warren. Terry McLaurin. Brandon Aubrey. In Seattle's defense. As far as his bench, he's keeping Kareem Hunt on his bench and keeping Kenneth Walker on his bench. Yeah, Kenneth's just been hard to trust just because, Zach Charbonnet's also pretty good. And then Moninga is solid too. He's got a questionable tag, so hopefully that helps out DeAndre Swift and gets Swift some more carries. And then Kareem Hunt, he's been good, but I do understand sitting Kareem Hunt because, yeah, they are facing Houston, who's got a very good defense, and it's hard to start 3 different guys on the same team when you're facing Houston. And then Quinn and Out. Yeah, they got a guy going tonight. They got a couple guys going tonight. They got Dak Prescott. They got Jamison Williams. It's looking like A.J. Brown, or Amon St. Brown, my bad, wrong person. Is realistic expectation is for him to return next week. Yeah, we're looking like we're missing Amon St. Brown this week, so yeah, he's going to have to get him out of his lineup. I'll let him know. Jamison Williams is projected to be really good with Amon St. Brown out, so maybe that will help him, but I don't know. We'll see. Brenton Strange, Quinshon Judkins, Drake London, Evan McPherson, and Baltimore's defense. Yeah, you also got Kyron Williams on a questionable tag. Limited at practice, yeah, he's playing. Limited on Wednesday, yeah, he's playing. You know that. No practice yet for Drake London as of 6 minutes ago. Jeez. Good thing I didn't film this 8 minutes ago. And yeah, Kamara's not playing. I think he's going on IR, I've heard. Not officially. Maybe he's not going on IR. I saw something that said he was likely to go on IR. Maybe that was wrong. Cortland Sutton will likely get in the lineup, it looks like. How's Jawan been? It's been just mid. I don't know. That's a hard pick between Cortland Sutton and Jawan Johnson. I mean, both of them are good, but it's a hard pick just because you don't know who's going to be good. It's a tough pick. I mean, Cortland Sutton's had some big games, and Cortland Sutton's had some stinkers. You just never know. And Jawan Johnson, he's pretty much a guaranteed at least 10 points, sometimes more than that, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what he decides to go with. We're going to leave you off with a couple of playoff scenarios. All right, and here's the standings. This will be a better look at for you, and we're going to give you some playoff scenarios to finish off this video. Bishop Sycamore, we got clinches 1 seed plus bye with a victory. So all they need is a victory. That's all Bishop Sycamore needs. That's what they're looking for. Bishop Sycamore clinches a bye with a loss as long as he isn't outscored by more than 42.48 by Kentucky Fried Pickles. All right, and next up, we got Turd Ferguson clinches a bye with a win if Mo loses, and long as he outscores Mo by 48.64, he clinches the 1 seed. Yeah. There's a chance Turd Ferguson gets the 1 seed. There's a possibility. And then, actually, that was not Mo. Yeah, that is. That's Mo. My bad. Kentucky Fried Pickles' path to a bye isn't easy, but possible. But the easiest way of this happening is him winning and a Turd Ferguson loss, and Long's Phil doesn't score more than 39.44 than him. He gets the bye. Phil's path is very bleak, but possible. It would take a victory and a loss by Turd Ferguson and either a Kentucky Fried Pickles loss or score more than 39.44 than him. Very unlikely Phil gets a bye, but Phil's going to be pretty happy camper with where he's at after the start of this season. It did not start out very well for Phil. And then as far as the other 3 teams, a bye is nearly impossible. Yeah, even getting the 4 seed's very hard for those other teams. That being the Steel Curtain, Andy, and Quentin out. Yeah, those teams are just happy if they get in. Andy's likely to get in. Steel Curtain, I would say, is also pretty likely. Steel Curtain's probably the most likeliest of them. And then probably Andy, and then Quentin out. But you never know. I mean, Quentin out wins, they're in. That's all it takes. I mean, we're in a weird spot where, like, all it takes is a win. It takes a win, and you're in. I mean, that's where we're at in this situation. And then as far as the draft, we're looking as if it's likely that Tank for Lemon or Boston will likely be picking 5th. Team IR will likely be picking 4th. David will likely be picking 2nd. The Tuggers will likely be picking 3rd. And Tank for Love, they will be getting love. That's what they want. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave you all with that. And that's about it. We'll see you in the next episode. See ya and goodbye.